The CEO of Facebook says his social media company wants to be a force for good in democracy everywhere. Mark Zuckerberg will no doubt be asked to expand upon that when he faces angry lawmakers Tuesday and Wednesday in committee hearings. Today, Zuckerberg was trying to get a lay of the land on Capitol Hill. Here's correspondent Peter Ducey.
One of Silicon Valley's most powerful men has arrived in the swamp. Mark Zuckerberg, the embattled 33-year-old social media mogul, was tight-lipped between meetings with the lawmakers who will be peppering him with questions tomorrow. But when Zuckerberg does start speaking with cameras rolling, he plans to accept blame for letting bad actors who wanted to influence the U.S. election manipulate his social networking platform. Prepared remarks include this line, quote, "We didn't take a broad enough view of our responsibility, and that was a big mistake. It was my mistake, and I'm sorry. I started Facebook, I run it, and I'm responsible for what happens here." The remarks may also come as a shock to shareholders with this line, quote, "I've directed our teams to invest so much in security on top of the other investments we're making that it will significantly impact our profitability going forward. But I want to be clear about what our priority is. Protecting our community is more important than maximizing our profits." The first lawmaker Zuckerberg met with today, Florida's Democratic Senator Bill Nelson, said the CEO was forthright, but that doesn't mean his concerns have been washed away.
I think the message I wanted to convey to him that if we don't rein in the misuse of social media, none of us are going to have any privacy anymore.
While Zuckerberg was on the Hill, 87 million Facebook users, mostly in this country, started getting notifications from the site that their information may have been shared improperly with political consulting firm Cambridge Analytica. And a whistleblower from Cambridge Analytica now says these notifications may just be a drop in the bucket.
Do you believe the number 87 million is the high end, or do you think that's still possible that number is much higher?
I think that it could be higher. Absolutely.
The White House doesn't get to send someone to ask Zuckerberg a question, but economic advisor Larry Kudlow is curious about how seriously the famously low-key Zuckerberg will be tomorrow.
Is he going to behave like an adult as a major corporate leader, or give me this phony baloney, what is it, hoodies and dungarees, and what does that kind of signal?
Republicans and Democrats alike are poised to ask Zuckerberg tough questions tomorrow. But remember, all these lawmakers have Facebook pages where staffers try to add as many constituents as friends as they can to keep them posted about what happens here. Brett?
Well, Peter, we referenced it earlier, but the Congressional Budget Office, the CBO, just came out with this report announcing the government's budget deficit, and their estimation will be just under $1 trillion next year, releasing this annual budget economic outlook this afternoon, saying the combined effect of the tax cut law and the latest spending plan will push the deficit to $804 billion this year, and predicting $1 trillion deficit by 2020 and looking forward. What's the reaction up on the Hill?
Brett, now many of the same lawmakers who voted for that new spending bill are surgically trying to cut it. Republicans here on the Hill are working with the White House to try to find about $30 to $60 billion to trim out of that $1.3 trillion omnibus budget that just became law using a process called rescission. President Trump said he would never sign a bill like that again, so they are trying to redo small parts of it while also considering on Thursday a balanced budget amendment, which would require the support of a sky-high two-thirds of the House, the Senate, and then three-quarters of all the states to become law.
We'll follow all of that in all of this. A busy day. Thank you, Peter Ducey, live on the Hill.